Speaking Task 1. You will be asked a question about a familiar topic. You will then have 15 seconds to prepare your response, and 45 seconds to speak.
Do you prefer doing frequent small assessments or having a major final test in a course? Support your preference with specific reasons.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. Speaking Task 2. You will read a short paragraph and then listen to a conversation between two people. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the conversation between two people.
They're making a mistake.
What do you mean?
Look, they're trying to do away with distractions, so we can study better. But with this change, we won't have anywhere in the library to get together to work on group projects.
True. Group project work is common these days.
So instead of buying these new units, they should use the money to build meeting rooms, and that would reduce any noise in the main library areas.
Yeah, that's what we could really use. There's just not as much need to work in isolation.
Exactly. And the other thing is, what's this about overcrowding? Well, sure, we have more students enrolled at the university this year, but do we really have a problem with overcrowding?
I don't think so. I always get a whole table to myself.
Right. I see empty tables there all the time. It'll just be a waste of money to replace what we have, since what we have now is sufficient for the amount of students that use the library.
The man expresses his opinion about the upcoming change. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. Speaking Task 3. You will read a short paragraph about an academic topic, then listen to a lecture about it. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the lecture.
The biography of Nelson Mandela, the anti-apartheid revolutionary and political leader of South Africa, is a compelling example of transformational leadership. Despite the harsh and unjust treatment he received during his imprisonment, Mandela's main concern was bettering the life of his people. He inspired them to work towards a more equitable society by helping them see the importance of their struggle against apartheid. He did not just ask people to follow him. Instead, he showed them why they needed to fight for their rights and motivated them to join in the struggle. Moreover, even post his presidency, Mandela continued to inspire his fellow citizens and the world through his tireless dedication to numerous philanthropic efforts. Thus, with his charismatic leadership and high morale standards, Mandela remained a symbol of resistance to tyranny and a beacon of hope.
How does the professor's discussion about Nelson Mandela demonstrate the traits of transformational leadership?
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. You will listen to a lecture about an academic topic. After, you will get a question about what you heard. You will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. Now listen to the lecture.
The Dada movement was an artistic and literary movement that occurred during and after World War I. The war's absurdity and brutality led these artists to question the social, political, and cultural values that could produce such an event. The Dada movement is often considered the first anti-art movement. Instead of aesthetics and traditional artistic techniques, the Dadas prioritized chaos, irrationality, and provocativeness. They wanted to shock society and make people think critically about the world around them. Dada artists used a variety of mediums, including sculpture, painting, photography, and performance art. They used unconventional techniques and materials, often recycling everyday objects to create new works of art. The Dadas were central figures in the development of modern art, influencing movements such as Surrealism, which continued the exploration of the irrational and symbolic that the Dada movement had initiated.
What is the Dada movement and how did it influence future art movements? Include points from the lecture.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.